It's a bittersweet Locked On Cardinals. We had to say goodbye to a friend today. Yeah, somebody who is near and dear to our hearts as we watch each and every week Cardinals games. And also with the team on bye, which teams are you rooting for or should you root for with the Cardinals not playing this weekend? We're going to break it down. It's the last show before break. Bo, it's Alex. It's the Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's going on? Rise up, Red Seeds. Bo Brock, Alex Clancy, Locked On Cardinals, Wednesday edition of the episode. And thanks for checking in and making Locked On Cardinals your first listen each and every day, whether it's on podcast or if you're watching us on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, please, and you can get updates anytime we put in new content. It'll give you an alert on your phone. You can just view it right there. It's that easy. It's magic. Alex Clancy at Clancy's Corner on Twitter, at Bob Rack, easiest way to find me. And the Arizona Cardinals made a move. I don't know if it's a red flag. I'm not in that camp right now. I mean, I know that they were checking in on a quarterback last week, according to Field Yates. They were looking in at Steve Bichelle on the Kansas City Chiefs practice squad, and the Chiefs they said, "No, we're just going to elevate him to the active roster." The Baltimore Ravens did not do that. In the case of Trace McSorley, former Penn State standout, kind of a versatile dual threat quarterback back in college. Had a couple opportunities to maybe grab the backup quarterback position in Baltimore. Never really did. He's QB3 there. He's on the practice squad, and the Arizona Cardinals gobbled him up. And to make room, Alex, we have to bid a fond farewell to Chris Streveler.
Yeah, instead of waving a red flag, it's kind of waving a Canadian flag, I guess you could say. Chris Streveler is no longer, because he played for the CF. I don't know if you got that. But,
thank you for clarifying.
So Trace McSorley is if you're making cookies and you have a quarterback cutout and a hybrid cutout, at least Trace McSorley is a quarterback cutout of a quarterback cookie cutout of a, you know what I mean? Like he's a quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So say Kyler and Colt McCoy get hurt. Trace McSorley's a quarterback. Chris Streveler is kind of an athlete. If you were doing NCAA football and you were recruiting across the country, he'd be an athlete. He wouldn't be a position. And I feel like, yeah, whatever. Like, this is how bored we are. We're opening the show a little bit with Trace McSorley talk because we're too bored about talking about how great the Cardinals have been playing. So I guess it's a nice little nugget. Hopefully we won't have to discuss it anymore after, this segment this year, unless it's week 17 and week 18 when Kyler's sitting because the Cardinals already have their, bye locked up or something like that.
Well, I mean, it is kind of just an interesting move. I mean, we talked about the Streveler edition because I think people wanted him to be that Taysom Hill light, kind of be that gadget quarterback, a guy that can do things that you're not your traditional signal caller can do. And in this offense, obviously, you need that. And we've seen Chris Streveler. We have enough data that tells us that Chris Streveler obviously has his limitations, a lot of them, right? I mean, you're falling off a cliff when it goes from Kyler to McCoy and then to Streveler. And I think as far as the skill sets are concerned, I think Trace McSorley can do a little bit more. I'm not saying, look, put him in the starting lineup immediately, give him reps, whatever. I'm just saying he's a little bit better version than Chris Streveler is as far as that skill set's concerned. He's a guy that ran a 4.57 40, so he's speedy a little bit. You remember him kind of getting physical in the run game at the quarterback position at Penn State, and he can throw the ball a little bit better. I mean, relative to Chris Streveler, he's a more polished passer. Relative to McCoy and Kyler, yeah, you're going to see a drop off there. But so I think, at this point in the season, trade deadline's done. There's nobody that's going to be available that is going to be a game changer. But if you can bring somebody on a play-by-play basis, if McSorley is just a better option than and an upgrade to Streveler, and he can do some things that you like, I don't mind it. I mean, that's how you get better at this point in the season.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal if they would have kept Streveler or not. If everybody stays healthy, then this shouldn't have to be an issue. But yeah, I mean, what we saw Trace McSorley, the biggest splash he's made was when Lamar Jackson was out last year, I believe. RG3 gets hurt, and Trace McSorley comes in and almost brings Baltimore back in this ridiculous win. I think it was against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I think it was against Pittsburgh.
I think it was a Thursday night game. One of those just weird games.
You know what it was? I think it was a Wednesday game or something. It was a COVID game. It was
right.
Maybe it was Tuesday or something like that. It wasn't a normal game. And it was an ugly ass game. And Baltimore scored a touchdown to get within one score. I think it was a broken play, as you mentioned before. Yeah, because I didn't remember that. But whatever. Like we're talking third string here.
Right. As far as its impact. And also take this into consideration. Trace McSorley most likely ran the practice squad QB as Justin Fields. I know Fields is battling an injury, but that was the Ravens' last opponent. And I'm sure Trace McSorley was running a lot of the offense that the Bears are going to run when the Arizona Cardinals return from bye. So there's a couple other variables that are in play here and don't necessarily add up to a red flag that Kyler Murray might not be back. But you should take comfort, after his last performance, that Colt McCoy has regained the trust of the fan base, and I'm sure the coaching staff alike. So just an interesting move, one to kind of talk about. There was news about J.J. Watt that came out yesterday that he's doing everything within his power to get back, and week 2 of the postseason could potentially be a spot for J.J. Watt to come back. I don't know. I guess I'm a little pessimistic on that, just seeing what type of injuries he sustained and what he has to go through in order to get back and how physical he plays. I'm surprised he's not out there in a sling just playing anyway through it. But hopefully he gets back and he doesn't risk screwing up his second season that the Cardinals have him under contract for next year.
Yeah, let's get there first.
Yeah,
as a team and win games, enough games to get there. And if JJ Watt wants to come in with a Superman cape on, welcome. He saw what a trickster he is. What a rascal he is with the tweet he put out. Did he say maybe ... something like that? He tweeted that out after the Cardinals win. I mean, he hasn't been on this exciting of a team ever. Like Houston was fun, but they weren't this. And the fact that this could be his last best chance to win something in this league, you bet your bottom dollar he's going to put super glue on his shoulder and get back out there in the playoffs. I mean, I'd be surprised if he didn't make an appearance in the playoffs when the Cardinals get there. I would be surprised, even just to give it a go.
Yeah, for sure. And Marcus Golden kind of gave an update, just said he's working every day. Watt is to get back. Quote, he's still pushing himself hard to get back and pushing us as well, close quote. That was from the Arizona Cardinals leading sack artist. And Marcus Golden has 10 on the season. Also, another nugget about Watt, just his off the field. He's going to pick up the tab on the funerals for those who perished in the horrible holiday parade tragedy in Wisconsin. Just JJ Watt, he just gets it.
Yep.
Gets it.
He sure does.
The Arizona Cardinals off their bye week this week for Thanksgiving. Week, 12 of the NFL season. They'll be back in week 13. But which teams do you need to root against in order to help bolster the Arizona Cardinals' chances at the NFC top playoff spot? And, of course, the NFC West division. We're breaking those down. It's Bo. It's Alex. It's Locked On Cardinals. Follow along on Twitter at Locked On AZCards and at Clancy's Corner at Bob Rack. It's Thanksgiving. We know what that means. Football. Nothing goes better with football than turkey and betting. BetOnline has you covered all holiday season. More props, odds, lines than ever before. Look, you got to spice these Thanksgiving games up a little bit. You've got one of the worst quarterback battles of all time between Andy Dalton and who's the kid that backed up Aaron Rodgers all those years. He threw for 77 yards for the Lions over the weekend. Why can't I think of his name? Well, he's the Lions quarterback. It doesn't matter. But here's the thing. You got to get some action on that game to make it interesting. Head over to the new updated desktop mobile website, BetOnline. Sign up today. Receive a 50% welcome bonus and a promo code just by using the promo code Locked On. And it's not just football. BetOnline has pro, college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, even your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline, the fastest, easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, we're stuffed with deals this Thanksgiving.
Stuff.
Tim Boyle is the name of the quarterback for the Detroit Lions. There you go. Bo Brock, Alex Clancy hanging out with you on a Wednesday edition when there won't be any more shows this week. We're taking the time off. It's bye week. You know, the last little nugget of news was about a third string quarterback. I think we're good. Just going to take some time, rest, hang out with your families, do it. We appreciate everybody that makes Locked On Cardinals your first listen. You know, we're talking about this team every day. We're dialed in, and man, what a ride it's been. 9-2 going into their bye week. They were either able to weather the storm without their franchise quarterback, Kyler Murray. Colt McCoy goes 2-1. Also, they were without J.J. Watt, who we just talked about. Also, they were without DeAndre Hopkins, and they were out without A.J. Green for a game. It's been some adversity that this team has faced, and they've come out, you know, the best looking team through 11 weeks in the NFL. There's no doubt about it. With that being said, you know, Monday Night Football, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take advantage of a get right game against the New York Giants, blow them out 30-10, and then you have a couple teams that are going to be in action this weekend. Alex, it's going to be the LA Rams versus the Green Bay Packers. There's the game on Thursday, Thanksgiving, between the Dallas Cowboys. They take on in the Jerry Dome the Las Vegas Raiders. I think I saw the Cowboys were 7-point favorites in that game, but they are facing some, talk about adversity. They got a couple injuries they're facing. You've got Amari Cooper out. I think he's out with a positive test. And Zeke's going to play, but he's not 100%. And they might be without Tyron Smith, their left tackle.
And I think CeeDee Lamb had a head injury in last week's game too. Like, here's the thing. This is a fantastic week for the Cardinals to be on a bye. There's one of the biggest flashbulb memories I have of Dak Prescott and this team, this Dallas Cowboys team, was a young Josh Allen a couple years ago going into Jerry Dome and beating the doors off the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Cole Beasley had a day. It was his first year outside of the Dallas Cowboys uniform. And the Raiders, like, that's definitely a game the Cowboys can lose. And if the Cowboys lose that game, that's 3 of 4, and the wheels have officially fallen off that train. 3 of 4, they'd be 7-4, and sweet mother Jerry Jones would be looking to fire somebody. The Packers and Rams, I'll save that one till last because it's even more interesting now as to which team you'd rather have win. And then the Bucs going to Indy, Bo. Like, there aren't many hotter teams in the NFL than the Indianapolis Colts right now. They play defense, they run the ball fine, and Carson Wentz has been fine, aside from 2 interceptions inside the 1-yard line, one going in, one coming out, and they're good. And Tommy doesn't like going on the road when he doesn't have to. I know it's a dome, but I mean, Tampa Bay could definitely lose that game. Dallas could definitely lose to Oakland. And then with the Rams and Packers, like, I get it. You want the Rams to win, so it gives the Cardinals technically a half-game lead over the Packers, or 1.5-game lead, because the Packers would have 4 losses then. Mm-hmm. Is that what you'd rather see? You'd rather see the Rams win?
I think so, and it's odd because it is a division opponent. But I think as far as the rest of the remaining schedule for the Packers, they play the Ravens, they have to play the Vikings again, but then they've got the Bears and they've got the Lions, and those should be slam dunk victories. When you look at the Rams, they've got a couple teams on their schedule that I think
the 49ers again.
They've got the 49ers again, and they've also got the Arizona Cardinals. They'll play head-to-head one more time. They'll play the Ravens as well, and they'll play the Vikings, which I don't think is a W, for this Rams team all of a sudden. So I think that just as far as remaining schedule, it would just benefit this week, the Arizona Cardinals, for the Rams to win head-to-head against the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, because when you look at it, if the Packers win, that puts the Rams at 7-4. And that is San Francisco on their heels with 5 losses. I don't know who the 49ers are playing. I mean, it can't be somebody very good. I mean, they've run through, they play the Vikings. So that's going to be a huge litmus test game for both of those teams for the 6 or 7 spot when we're 7 weeks away. Like, it's getting real here, and the Cardinals are just sitting back with their mojitos, flippy floppies, just watching and enjoying watching just these teams jockey for position. And yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Any leg up the Cardinals can get with the overall 1 seed, I'm going to throw up. I can't believe we're talking about this still. That's something that, you would benefit the Cardinals, and the Rams are going to make the playoffs. So like if they win this game, if they win a couple down, later on down the road, the Cardinals still have a buffer to where if they win, they're going to have a 2-game lead plus the tiebreaker over the Rams. So, even if they lose to the Rams on Monday Night Football, they'll still have a buffer.
Right. And if the Cardinals take care of business, you have to have that mindset. It's like you don't want to go rely on other teams winning games for you. But if you can get one before you take on LA, I think that would just be important. You just have to go in with the mindset that you're going to beat them on Monday Night Football at home. That they're the better team, that they'll be close to full strength, that they should have Kyler back then. They should have DeAndre Hopkins back then. And if and to prove that week 3 wasn't a fluke. And I don't think that there's anybody in the building that believes that as far as the Cardinals are concerned. So, you just have to go with that mindset. And as far as, the games this weekend, I don't think that legitimately, is that a house phone?
It is a house phone.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Sorry about that.
Back on track. I just didn't know they existed any longer. I thought I'd time traveled. But anyway, the Arizona Cardinals, they can't lose. They literally can't lose. And with the teams that are playing, and the fact that one of their 2 teams that could be in their way are also, just competition for that top NFC spot, play each other. That's huge for them. And then the game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I mean, couldn't have handpicked a team better than the Colts, who are playing at such a high level right now.
Yeah. I mean, and remember, so this shows that, because we've mentioned a bunch of teams the Cardinals are going to play the rest of the season, some that didn't look great early that are going to be challenges now. But I mean, the Bears look terrible. Okay. The Lions are terrible. So that puts the Cardinals at 11 wins. You would think, the Bears, I don't know. I still see the Bears as a hiccup game. Kyler Murray coming off rusty, that's not one to overlook. But then the rest of the schedule, you have Seattle. I mean, Seattle at the end of the year could be starting you at quarterback, right, depending on how far out of contention they are. And if they're looking to trade Russell Wilson, they don't want him to get injured in a game that doesn't matter.
Right.
The Cardinals are in a situation where they play the Cowboys, the Rams, and the Colts. And I think that's it. The other 3 games, gimme.
It's insane.
It could be in a lot worse spots.
2 more division games. They've already clinched a winning record in the division. They're 4-0. I mean, they could go 5-1, 6-0 in the division. It's pretty crazy. And they're just in a driver's seat right now. They're in a really good spot. Where does the rest of where do the people, the prognosticators, the analysts believe that the Arizona Cardinals are going into their bye week? The latest power rankings, we got them for you. And they should be able to move out of the spot that they're in the power rankings, right? I don't know. We'll get into that conversation. It's coming up next. It's on the Locked On Cardinals podcast. It's Bo, it's Alex. And I got to tell you about the best tasting protein bar of all time. If you haven't tried a Built Bar by now, you're missing out. They say it's a protein bar, but we know it doesn't taste like one. You have to try one of these amazing bars yourself to believe it. Most protein bars, chalky, waxy, just plain hard to choke down. A Built Bar, soft, covered in 100% real chocolate. And when you bite into it, you're eating something different. It's more of an experience, one that you'll enjoy. In fact, you'd swear you're eating a candy bar. Built Bars, they're low in carbs, low in calories, low fat, low sugar, and high in protein. All the healthy benefits on top of just being purely delicious. So many flavors. Another great thing about Built Bar, there's so many mouth-watering flavors, including coconut, raspberry, mint brownie, coconut almond, salted caramel, double chocolate, and cherry barcia. And this month, Built is coming out with a new limited time flavor every 3 to 4 days. So check their website often, built.com. You don't want to miss out. In fact, go to built.com right now. Use the promo code LOCK15 and get 15% off your order. That's promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at built.com. Thanks for making the Locked On Cardinals your first listen each and every day. If you watch the YouTube show, we premiere them at 10 a.m. except for our halftime show and except for our post-game reaction show. Those are live, but other than that, we are premiering each episode at 10 a.m. each and every day. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. Let's take a look at the Locked On Podcast Network Power Rankings. The Arizona Cardinals back at the top spot at 9-2. If you're watching this, you can see that the Bucs are number 2. If you're listening, I'll tell you the Packers are number 3. The Rams are number 4 at 7-3. What is so shocker? Those are all 4 NFC teams right there. Then you have the Chiefs rebounding. They're 7-4. Team that's kind of regained their swagger a little bit. I think Patrick Mahomes still needs to improve a little bit, but the defense is kind of figuring some things out. Ravens at 6, the Titans at 7. I mean, the Titans, I don't know. I think I had them out of the top 10 after they lost to the Texans. I mean, you can't lose to the Texans and the Jets in the same season and say, hey, that's a top 10 team.
I mean, they were without everybody. Like, I know that's not a true,
they just released Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, but I mean, right. But AJ Brown was out. Julio Jones is out. Derrick Henry's out. Like, I understand it's the Texans, but it's just, they have nobody. They now have no weapons that are consistent there. And we thought that Julio Jones thing was going to work out there. I mean, sweet mother, how many games has he played this year? Yeah, I mean, I think that's about right. I put the Chiefs higher. I put the Chiefs above the Rams because power rankings are the temperature for the team at the given time. And the Chiefs are one of the hotter teams in football. They're starting to play a lot better. Patrick Mahomes had 5 touchdowns 2 weeks ago. I know it was kind of an ugly game last week, but when it comes down to it, the Chiefs are going to come out of the AFC, right? I mean, are you still betting? Are you betting against the Chiefs to come out of the AFC? I would love to see Bill Belichick versus Patrick Mahomes in the AFC championship game again with a different quarterback. Like, wouldn't that be the greatest thing ever? Like, we could still, if the Cardinals don't make the Super Bowl, I think the entire world is rooting for Belichick versus Brady because it's possible. Imagine that in the Super Bowl. But aside from that, I think Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are still the hottest team in the AFC, but I think they should have been a little bit higher.
Yeah, and looking at our power rankings, I mean, you just mentioned the Patriots. I think I have them against higher than the Cowboys. I definitely have them higher than the Titans. I mean, we're talking about, how well the teams are playing right now, and you'd be hard pressed to find any team playing better than the Patriots. And then you've got the Titans and Cowboys who are trending in the wrong direction. Now, Dallas can get back on track on Thursday with a game against Las Vegas. And then the Bills are just absolutely just struggling at 6-4. That offense, I don't know what happened to that. And, it's just like, if you had taken the temperature of the Cardinals fan base, they probably would have said they'd take Brian Daboll right now. And I mean, he's the guy that's calling the plays in an offense. I mean, it's just that's the ugly reality of the NFL. Like, people make adjustments. People found a blueprint. The teams did to slow down Josh Allen in that passing attack. And they haven't figured out how to, play that game of chess and get back to having a solid offense. I mean, they have the players to do it, but they just can't get it going. I mean, they struggled against Miami. They struggled against Jacksonville. It's been brutal for them.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What is the big gaping hole on that offense?
Running game.
They've punted on running the ball. Just completely.
Yeah.
And how do you win games? Running the ball and playing defense. That's how you win football games. That's how you've won football games since its inception, is run and play defense. And sure, obviously, there's going to be 60-40 or 70-30 even pass run splits now because of how the game's evolved. But when you need first downs and everybody knows you're going to throw the ball, it's a little bit easier to defend. When you always drop back into coverage and you have your outside pass rushers fast rushing, you can do that all the game. because they don't run the ball. They have capable backs like Devin Singletary and Zach Moss. I'm sure there's a handful of teams that would take them over their current running back room, and they just punt. They completely give up on running the ball. And their receiving core isn't that good. It's not Tampa Bay. Like, if Tampa Bay didn't run the ball, you'd be like, I get it. I mean, they have everybody with Antonio Brown healthy. Stephon Diggs is a wide receiver 1 for sure, but if you bracket him with the safety, who's their number 2? Emmanuel Sanders? Cole Beasley? Like, these people are delusional out there thinking that that's going to work. I don't know. I'd rather be the Cardinals.
Yeah, like a rant there. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, it pisses me off. It's like it goes like, you think you're special?
Yeah.
You ain't special. Run the ball.
Taking a step back. People, they've read that book already.
Yeah.
It's you gotta figure it out. And with a guy like Josh Allen, you just backed up the Brinks truck, and you're paying him a lot of money beyond his rookie contract. You got to figure it out, and it's not going to be as easy.
And don't condescend me about my rant. What the hell? Did you not get some sleep last night? It's the phone. I'm at my parents' house. My mom and stepdad live in the damn mountains. They need a landline. They're 80 years old. They're not, but they do landline stuff. Does your mom not have a landline?
I don't think so.
Is she a Jetson? I feel like all older people have landlines. So that's 2.
What's it for?
You need a nap. You need a nap.
I do. And if
get off my ass, I can rant about what I want.
If I had a landline, I'd have to unplug it if I was taking a nap because there's no silent on it.
No, you just put the hand off the hook. You just put it off and turn it on. Busy signal. Busy signal.
Bo Brock, Alex Clancy. We've hit it. It's time for bye week for us.
I need a bye week from you.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Yeah. Oh, man. So follow us on Twitter at Locked On AZCards. Follow Alex at Clancy's Corner. Follow me at Bob Rackies is where to find it. And, man, when we sit down on Thanksgiving and we say our blessings and we say what we're thankful for each and everybody that every one of you that tunes in and listens to this podcast. It's been an incredible ride. Thank you so much. We're just so grateful for you all. And we hope you have a great holiday. Hopefully you get a couple days off and enjoy the bye week for the Arizona Cardinals. We'll be back with you Monday morning. Brand new episode of the podcast. And, of course, the YouTube episode will premiere at 10 on Monday. Alex, anything else?
Oh, enjoy it. Stretch your legs. Watch other teams squirm, jogging for playoff position, and realize that the Cardinals are at the top of the mountain through 11 weeks, which is absolutely mind-boggling. It is. I'm going to say that.
Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Enjoy your holiday. We'll talk to you soon on Monday. Locked On Cardinals.